The 2024-25 season for Jon Scheyer and the Duke Blue Devils was nothing short of spectacular, as the team surged to become one of the top 4 programs in the country. Yet, as the dust settles after a memorable season, the program faces a harsh reality. The 2025 NBA draft is stripping them of some of their most valuable assets. The fallout from this year's draft decisions has left the Blue Devils with gaping holes in their roster, and Jon Scheyer now faces the monumental task of rebuilding his squad around the few remaining stars. Duke's success in the previous season was powered by an impressive roster of NBA-caliber players. The undeniable star of the show was Cooper Flagg, a generational talent who has been the focal point of much of the team's success. Flagg, who many experts predict will be selected as the number 1 first overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft, has unsurprisingly declared for the draft, further depleting Scheyer's already thin roster. But Flagg is not alone in leaving for professional basketball. Several of the key figures that made Duke so formidable this past season are following suit. Kon Knueppel, another critical piece in Duke's dominant run, has also declared for the draft. His decision to go pro adds yet another blow to an already stretched roster. Beyond Flagg and Knueppel, several other key players are expected to be drafted, including Kaman Maluak, Tyrese Proctor, and Sion James. All of these departures create an almost insurmountable challenge for Scheyer, who now has to grapple with a roster that may look drastically different from last season's powerhouse squad. However, the most shocking and most recent blow comes in the form of Cedric Coward, a high-profile transfer who was expected to be a game-changer for the Blue Devils. Coward, a dynamic forward who transferred from Washington State, was one of the most highly anticipated additions to the team. He had the potential to not only fill the void left by Flagg's departure, but also serve as a cornerstone for Duke's future success. But in an unexpected turn of events, Coward has opted to remain in the NBA draft, confirming that he will not play for Duke in the upcoming season. This decision stings for Duke and Jon Scheyer. Coward's decision to stay in the draft has left Scheyer scrambling for answers and possible solutions to the team's looming issues. The loss of Coward, who was expected to be one of the primary contributors, could send Duke's program into a period of rebuilding, one that will require quick adjustments and perhaps a shift in strategy. When asked about his outlook on the upcoming draft, Coward conveyed his confidence and understanding of the challenge that lay ahead. "I see myself as a draft pick," Coward said. "I'm looking for a team that wants to take a chance on me. I've gotten really positive feedback. A lot of teams have been coy, not showing exactly how they feel. It doesn't matter if it's a guarantee or not. There's still work ahead of me. There are only 59 picks. If I am fortunate to be one of those 59, it's all a blessing. If I am 1 or 59, it doesn't really matter. There's always work to be done. It doesn't matter what spot. It's more about what team will give me the opportunity to show what I can do on the court." For Jon Scheyer, the challenges are mounting. With the Blue Devils losing so many of their top contributors, the question now becomes how he will retool the program in the coming months. The departures of Flagg, Knueppel, Proctor, Maluak, James, and now Coward leave a massive void in Duke's roster. Scheyer will likely have to rely on a mix of his remaining players and incoming recruits to fill these gaps. The bigger question is whether Duke can maintain its elite status in the ACC and nationally, given the heavy losses. With a roster that could feature significant inexperience, Scheyer will need to find a way to adapt quickly. He'll have to work his magic in the recruiting and transfer portals and cultivate the remaining talent on his roster. But as the dust settles from the frenzy of the NBA draft and transfer decisions, one thing is certain: Jon Scheyer's resilience and coaching acumen will be tested like never before. Losing this much talent in such a short time isn't something any program can easily bounce back from. However, if there is one thing Duke's recent history has shown, it's that the Blue Devils always find a way to reload and compete at the highest level. The 2025-26 season may be a transitional one for Duke, but if history is any indication, the Blue Devils will likely rise from the ashes and prove that they remain a force to be reckoned with. For Jon Scheyer, it's time to step up. The Blue Devils' next chapter is about to unfold, and how Scheyer navigates this turbulent offseason will determine the future of Duke basketball.